Having just come off of 3 excellent NES games in the series, Konami was ready to rock the world with the 4th entry in the Castlevania franchise, Super Castlevania 4, exclusively released on the Super NES. Now, I know a lot of you guys will probably be like, well, it's not really a sequel, it's more of a reimagining of the original game. Whatever you want to say, this is one of my personal favorite in the quote-unquote classic series. And one of the reasons why I really like this and why a lot of you guys really like this is thanks to the 8-way directional whip. It was amazing because now you could jump and whip down, angle and whip diagonally, or just whip straight up, left, right, whatever. And what was even more is you could actually hold the attack button down and Simon would whip and just keep the whip out in whatever direction you wanted. Then you could just like rotate the D-pad around and he would flail the whip all over the place. This was awesome, absolutely awesome. It's such a shame that they never brought this forward to any of their other 2D Castlevania games. There's been a couple of things that you could do, like you could do a flail move just like in front of you or whatnot, but never this same exact whip system. And one of the major reasons why is because, I will be honest, it makes the game a lot easier than the other Castlevania games, because when you can only whip in a couple of directions, you have a really hard time going, you know, like taking out, say, projectiles and things like that. So besides that, other gameplay refinements include being able to shoot your weapon with the R button instead of always up and attack. Now, for me, I really enjoyed that because it helped make the game feel like it was on a new system back then. There were also those little objects, I forget what they were called, that Simon could whip onto, and it would allow him to like swing from one area to the next, which was pretty cool. And this was a game that really introduced a lot of other gameplay elements. For example, now Simon could turn mid-jump, he could jump on and off of stairs, and all little additions like this really made the game special and really stand out back when the Super Nintendo first hit the scene. There's also, I don't think anyone could possibly forget the phenomenal use of Mode 7. Now, for those that don't know, Mode 7 is just a sort of parallax scrolling, and there's one tunnel stage in particular where when you see it, your jaw would hit the floor because it was just so amazing back then. Although be warned, if you are one of those that gets nauseous from motion sickness, you might hurl your lunch with that level. Anyways, outside the Mode 7 like sections or whatever you want to call them, there was also just this overall look to the game that really stood out. Simon's sprite was larger than ever before, the environments were more detailed than anything the NES could pump out, and the boss fights featured some just awesome battles. I mean, there was some really wicked foes in this one. I really liked the two-headed dragon boss fight that you see in this video. It was really something. It was really something special. And that's all not mentioning the fact that the soundtrack is amazing. Back in this time period, people were talking about CDs and all this, that, and the other thing. But man, when you listen to this soundtrack, you could really give a damn about CDs because it was just so amazing. Bloody Tears in particular was a great standout. I really enjoyed it. In my mind, Super Castlevania 4 has aged perfectly. It's available on the Wii Virtual Console, the Wii U Virtual Console, and of course the SNES Original. It's one of the best entries in the classic series, and while it never really gets overly difficult, and especially if you play with the Wii U save states, it's going to be a total breeze. But you know what? It's really amazing. It's a really amazing game that has stood the test of time, and you really should not hesitate to experience this game if you can on any platform it's available on. For the full written review, be sure to check out projectcoe.com, but you know what? You don't even need to do that. Just go check out this awesome game.